Now the question will arise, if we lower carbohydrates. See, this is a low carbohydrate. This is not a zero carbohydrate. Let me tell you. So don't be confused between these two. So so here maybe we are going to reduce the carbohydrate. However, let me tell you that carbohydrate is what is called as a non-essential nutrient. Okay, if you go to any textbook, they will all mention that it's a non-essential nutrient. Humans need not have carbohydrate in their diet. In fact, the lower limit of dietary carbohydrate is 0. What carbohydrate provides are glucose, and our body can actually generate glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis by using fat as well as amino acids or proteins. So that's why God has given us that liver. A liver is a very versatile organ and it can do many things for us. Now, is it scientific? Many people will say there is no science behind it. However, let me tell you that this is one single website which will give 248 published references. Okay, so there are a lot of randomized control trial, lot of meta-analysis, review papers. These are little, stuff which very few will understand. However, many doctors, many researchers will understand the importance of randomized control trial as well as the meta-analysis, which are very powerful studies. So this is just one website. This is another where you can go to Healthline and you will see 23 published studies comparing the current low fat with low carb diet. And let me tell you that if you see the conclusion, low carb diet wins hands down in all the parameters. So these are just few. If you go to PubMed, you will see hundreds and thousands of studies on this. Somehow we never know about this because it's not commonly discussed. Because someone doesn't want us to, and that particular factor is the food industry. The food industry wants to keep us in the dark because they want to sell all the processed stuff. Because low carb advocates fresh home cooked food, so that is why they are very averse to this. So you'll always see that nutrition is a very hot debate or debatable topic. So people will have their own views, and you'll never find a correct view on this. So I'll come to the causes of obesity. So one of the few hypotheses is the carbohydrate insulin model. Now what is this? We eat excess carb, we generate a lot of insulin, and insulin is said to be what is called as the fat storing hormone. Now insulin is a very important hormone in us, mind you. We don't want zero insulin. Insulin also helps in uptake of glucose, uptake of amino acid, and also it's a fat storing hormone. So when we reduce carbohydrate intake, insulin comes down, and hence fat is also reduced. So this is how the theory works. So this is one model. The other hypothesis is the high omega-6 upon high omega-3 upon omega-6 upon omega-3 ratio. Now it is said that all these refined oils which we are currently using, they all cause obesity, and there are a lot of studies have proven that actually they increase the insulin resistance. What will happen is if they increase insulin resistance, we will have to go back to the earlier slide, and then we will start storing fat, and then become obese. And probably this is one of the reason why we are seeing a sudden spurt in obesity across the world, because we have shifted from all the traditional good oils and fats to all the refined oil. So we just need to think and go back to the traditional oils and traditional fats. This is again one of the hypothesis or theory, and high sugar and fructose effect. This is known to cause obesity, especially in children. So this high fructose corn syrup you will find, especially in all the beverages, Coke or Pepsi, which is available. So they have been linked to obesity. In fact, you can see in the right bottom, there is again a paper which is published by Dr. Robert Lustig, which says that fructose is the alcohol without the bus. That means its metabolism is similar to that of alcohol. Let me tell you that even the fruit juices are also, can cause obesity. So let me tell you that if you eat a fruit, how much you will eat? One, 2 piece max in a fruit. If you squeeze, if you want a glass of fruit juice, you might squeeze some 5 or 10 or even a dozen. So this is going to cause an overload of glucose and fructose, which is found in those fruits, and they're going to put us in trouble. Most of the processed foods are also high in sugar, which we don't realize. The other interesting theory is the protein dilution effect. This says that if your protein comes down, protein in diet comes down, then we automatically increase fat and carbohydrate. So this is what happening. If you see in the extreme right, we tend to take a lot of carbohydrate, especially refined carbohydrate, and also the bad fat, not the good kind of fat. So most of the oils which we use are bad. Most of the processed food, what oils they use, fat they use are very bad. So this is called the PE model, the protein to energy model, and adapted from the PE diet. So if we increase our protein in our food, automatically the amount of carbohydrate can come down. Now, when we increase protein, fat also comes with it because all the protein food contains fat. Now, this will throw a light, and we may be surprised to know among these three macronutrients which we have: carbohydrate, protein, and fat. The singular role of carbohydrate is only to provide glucose, nothing else. Whereas protein and fat, they not only provide the same energy, but they're involved in a lot of enzymes. They're involved in absorption of a lot of vitamins. They maintain acid valence base. They're the structural material for all the cells, fat and protein. They're involved in maintenance of tissues. And fat is also involved in hormone production as well as protein. Both are involved. Transport of a lot of other molecules like hemoglobin, and as well as they act as messenger. Fat acts as insulation. So you can see vis-a-vis the other two macronutrients, we load up on carbohydrate, something which provides very few function, whereas we tend to ignore protein and fat because they have been demonized to a great extent. A lot of fear is instilled into us that protein is bad, it will cause damage on kidney. Fat is bad because it will cause damage to heart, where it is not the case. So we should be loading more on protein and fat. Now, there could be some initial adverse effect, yes. I'm just coming to this because this is again very commonly discussed. I'm not taking this to the end, I'm taking this in the beginning itself. Like keto flu, like headache, tiredness, nausea, leg cramps, constipation, bad breath, hair loss, rise in uric. All these are, let me tell you, all these are very transient. And the same thing can appear as with any diet you start. Okay, all these are transient and can be addressed with a lot of hydration, adding little more electrolyte and a lot of other stuff. So all transient, so need not worry. Now, let me just speak about the macros. So while we know that we are supposed to take more of protein and fat and less of carbohydrates, so how do we actually do? Now here the saying is protein is the target, fat is the lever, and carbohydrate is the restriction. So LCHF for ketogenic is actually low carb, moderate protein, and high fat. Now the carbohydrate ranges from 20 to 100 grams per day divided into number of meals. It can go up to even 120 grams depending upon the metabolic flexibility. Protein, we have to keep it at least around, let us say around, ideally for optimal health, we should be keeping it 1.5 gram per kg body weight, or at least reach 1 gram per kg body weight. And let me tell you that the recommended dietary allowance is 0.8, and we don't even reach that particular amount. Fats, we can keep it same as protein, or we have the flexibility of increasing up to 50 grams more. And this depends upon the activity level and the amount of stored fat in the body. In terms of calories, 1 gram of carbohydrate is 4 calories. Protein, 1 gram is 4 calories, whereas fat is 9 calories. So anyway, this is going to be a high fat diet in terms of calories. So what does the food pyramid look like? This is how it looks like. In terms of when you convert in terms of calories, so fat will come anywhere between 60 to 75. Protein, let us say 25 to 30, and carbohydrate 5 to 10. So it is highly flexible. So these are just guidelines. We can actually titrate it as per our individual requirement. Now, what are the fats and proteins for Indians? So our traditional fat, ghee, butter, virgin coconut oil, and maybe if you can source any good extra virgin oil, though it is not from a country, but if you can source a good one, yes. But most of the olive oils which we get in a country may be contaminated. So there are hardly 1 or 2 brands which are good. All animal fats and MCT oil if you get them. There are other good fat like palm kernel oil, which is red in color, but they are not high available easily and they're very, very costly. So we need not go for that. And this is different from the normal palm oil. Please don't confuse that palm oil with this. So let me tell you that this particular chart, this is recommended for all, whether you want to follow low carb ketogenic or not. I suggest that immediately, the next possible occasion, please change. Please start using ghee, butter, virgin coconut oil as a cooking ingredient. So these are the only three which which are very, very, very ideal. You can start using ghee also. It's highly recommended. So what are the protein sources for Indians? We have eggs, and for vegetarians, paneer, curd or hung curd or yogurt. Okay, we just need to filter out those that whey liquid from curd using a thin muslin cord, and then we can have that curd. Cheese, yes, amply available in the country. And for non-vegetarian, yes, everything is open. Fish, meat, poultry. Select people can also use whey isolate, which is highly selected and very optional. I don't recommend it for all. It's only those who cannot achieve their protein goal, especially vegetarians, they can use it. And that will only selected cases. We can as well, stick to all this. And I know that in our country, most of the vegetarians, they also have eggs. So absolutely no problem. They can go ahead and have as many eggs as you want. See, it is very difficult to overeat protein. It is very easy to overeat carbohydrate, but it is very difficult because the satiety signal is very strong. So let me tell you, all this protein food, they also come attached with equal quantity of fat. So this protein fat has one of the highest satiety for humans. We will never be able to overeat them. And let me tell you, if we keep 1 kg of cake in front of you, you may be able to eat that. But even half a kg of paneer is just going to be difficult. Our hunger signal, our satiety signal will be so strong that it's very difficult to even down that half kg of paneer.